morning on Wednesday, the 13th of November, 2024. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia, and therefore coffee time with me, Peter Gomez. And the program is brought to you in association with partners led by Bloombank Africa, the Gambia Experience, the USP, EEC, and GAM Food Trading, Tough Africa Global, Wave, Global Properties, and Easy Financial Services.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the second annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Boja. I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wonjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly food.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
And coming up over the next half hour or so, a massive polio vaccination effort is underway across the country, despite not a single case of polio being reported locally. Hundreds of thousands of children will hopefully receive vaccines over the next 10 days. It's day 3 at COP29. Parties are beginning to solidify positions on the new climate finance goal, expected to be the headline outcome of this year's UN climate event. We'll hear from a young Gambian climate activist about what the Gambian delegation should aim to achieve at the talks. And we'll hear more from Rohi Samba's Echoes of Fuladu. As always, we'll have the newspaper front pages. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. If I own a business account with Trust Bank, how can I pay salaries to my employees to other banks?
Kindly send us an instruction through your corporate officer, that's your relationship manager. Send the instruction through a hard copy and we will kindly process for you. It is easy, it is simple. We will need few information from you. Each customer's name, the BBAN, and the bank it needs to be sent to. The BBAN should be complete and it should be in 18 digits. Please kindly forward this and then it will be processed the same day and all the funds will be credited in other banks as well. Thank you.
Our press review starts today with The Voice. Revealed, it declares, Bensouda offered to quit UDP, but lawyer Drame says Environment Minister ready for out-of-court settlement in $50 million civil suit against journalist Mane. Former KMC acting CEO Jaja Cham sent to mile 2. Gambia was more secure under Jammeh, says Fonyi Jarol lawmaker. Police arrest of several coastal road market vendors sparks public outcry. First Lady Fatuba Barrow launches national polio vaccination campaign, and ninth ECOWAS CCC meeting underway in Banjul. Next, a look at Foraya's front page. Judge criticizes Minister of Health for failing to appear in AKI case. Parties open to out-of-court settlement. That's in respect of the libel case involving the Environment Minister and journalist Keba Ansumane. Former acting KMC CEO detained for alleged witness interference. Task force to work with Special Prosecutor's Office on cases of missing persons. Market Committee Chair denies collection of vendors' payments. Partners launch Project Finance Masterclass for Sustainable Development. And Commission probes Latrikunda Market pre-financed canteen construction amid discrepancies. The Point carries these headlines. In journalist Mane case, judge urges out-of-court settlement. Police arrest ex-KMC CEO on orders of LGCI. Special economic zones can spot Gambia as regional trade hub. First Lady launches national polio vaccination campaign. And Dr. Tangara addresses Arab Islamic follow-up summit. We end with the Standard. Civil servants to get 30% pay rise. $50 million suit against journalist Keba Ansu starts. Gambia to benefit from $10 million Islamic Bank grant. Former KMC CEO arrested for allegedly assaulting witness of LG Commission. Barrow returns from private visit to Morocco. EU delegation holds talks with Deputy Speaker on electoral reforms. And Russia recruits Gambians and others to fight in Ukraine, according to a report. And that was your look at the newspapers this morning. Our thanks as ever to the editors and reporters of Foraya, The Voice, The Point, and The Standard.
Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all types of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value-for-money service, and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
On Wednesday, the 13th of November 2024, I am Peter Gomez, and you're with Coffee Time on West Coast Radio. A quest to vaccinate more than 426,000 children aged under 5 against polio in 10 days is on. The mass vaccination campaign was launched in Banjul on Tuesday by the First Lady Fatuba Barrow, aided by the Minister of Health, Amadou Lamin Samate. Sajo Sambujang reports.
The Gambia joins the rest of the world to fight against one of the child life-threatening diseases, polio, as the government and its partners gathered on Tuesday morning at the Polyclinic in Banjul to launch the National Polio Vaccination Campaign Phase 1. The vaccination, which is intended to cover the length and breadth of the country, is targeting newly born babies up to the age of 5. This is because health authorities say they appear to be the most vulnerable to diseases, as their immune systems are weak to withstand such forces. Giving the welcoming remarks, the Chief Medical Director at the Edward Small Teaching Hospital, Mustafa Biti, thanked the Health Minister and the First Lady of the Republic for the support they render to the hospital, whilst urges the populace to embrace the vaccine.
First Lady and the Minister, the health of the children is their priority. They go the extra mile to ensure that they provide it for us. So we are urging everyone to come out and make sure they do the vaccination. As a hospital, we are so proud to host them again here, and for nothing but something very good that the people are going to benefit from.
The Gambia is not vaccinating children because the outbreak is found on a person, but is being detected in certain dump sites in the country. Health Minister Dr. Ahmadou Lamin Samate emphasized on the stage.
It's not that we've seen patients with polio in the country. I think we need to emphasize that. But because of the robust surveillance mechanism we have in this country, our team, in collaboration with WHO, UNICEF and other partners, have been able to identify the virus in sewage samples in Banjul, in Fajikunda Talinding complex, and in Kotu. When that was identified, the assumption has been it would have come from human beings for it to be in the sewage. Whether those human beings are resident in Gambia or they transited through Gambia, we certainly do not know. But at least it was seen in sewage in the Gambia. So that has warranted the fact that we need to immunize our children against polio, the development of polio, which of course, in very severe cases could kill. But classically, it presents with paralysis, and children could grow paralyzed. And we don't want that in our children.
The guest speaker, Mrs. Fatuba Barrow, First Lady of the Republic of the Gambia, elaborated on the dangers of the polio disease, which she said could even lead to death. while used the opportunity to advise women to take their infants for the child welfare checkup for the first 5 years of their lives, as this will reduce the risk of contaminating diseases.
And I want the mothers to be taking their children for child welfare for at least the 5 complete years, because they're preventing their children from getting sick.
Sergio Sambo for Coffee Time on West Coast Radio.
And the program is brought to you in association with Global Properties, WAVE, the Gambia Experience, Easy Financial Services, the USAP EEC, and GAM Food Trading, TAF Africa Global, and Bloombank Africa. Plus, these partners.
Did you know service plots are now available at Baki? Welcome to Baki, Taft City's 4th residential estate.
Yes, service plots available at Baki with 3 years interest-free payment plan with a minimum deposit of only $94,000, and it will come with fence plot, water reticulation, electricity, solar street lights, and bituminized internal roads. Are you ready to build your dream home for yourself?
Call us now.
Welcome back, and if you'd like to advertise on the program, get in touch with Mr. Jibril Jassi on either 699-0107 or 787-0107 or 924-24-24. Now, the UN climate chief has called on world leaders to skip any posturing at COP29 and demand strong outcomes, especially on finance. Speaking at the opening of the Global Climate Summit in Baku on Tuesday, Simon Steele warned that unless countries step up climate action, worsening climate impact will, as he put it, put inflation on steroids. COP29 is all about money. Billed as the finance COP, leaders in Baku must agree on a new climate finance goal. Esaba reports.
The COP29 Global Climate Talks commence on Monday in Baku, Azerbaijan, and will run until November the 22nd. For the second year in a row, an oil-rich country is hosting a COP, following last year's climate talks that were hosted by the United Arab Emirates. Branded the Finance COP, a defining feature for COP29 is a new finance goal, the new Collective Quantified Goal NCQG, or put simply, long-term climate finance that is to be thrashed out between the developed and less developed countries like the Gambia. Speaking to Mohamed Haidara, a young climate leader and Secretary General of the Gambia Environmental Alliance, he told us what Gambia should expect from this year's COP.
Well, the expectation for COP29, as a nation gathering to discuss the climate solution, I hope they will prioritize, real progress on this thing, on adaptation funding and the authorization of the loss and damage fund.
One thing being talked about is that for the second time in a row, an oil-rich nation is hosting a COP. How do you react to this as an environmentalist?
It's very important for oil, drilling nation to host it, because it shows them, how serious we are. Because if I thought that if they did not host it, then they will not understand the leadership, what it means for them to, definitely contain their carbon emission and mitigate some of the pollution that their country is contributing, so that at least we are able to hold them accountable.
A strong delegation from the Gambia, led by the Vice President, will be heading to this year's COP. What would be your message to them, if you have any?
Our advice to them is that let them represent our country well, because it's always important, because it's only through COP that most of the projects that the Gambia secure. It normally secure a lot of projects during COP negotiation and also other collaboration partnership with neighboring countries. Just our concern is that, not a lot of youth are being represented, so that's our biggest concern, because we want to make sure that at least let the government also support, civil society groups that are really pushing the agenda of, climate change in the country to be represented. Even though we have career to say, but we want government to support our representation there.
The stake in this year's COP are particularly high for Africa. The African Group of Negotiators, AGN, has set a $1.3 trillion new collective quantified goal target per year that wealthy nations, who are also heavy polluters, must offer developing countries from next year, replacing the previous commitment of $100 billion annually. Reporting for West Coast Radio, I am Esaba.
Let's just quickly go back to the choice of Azerbaijan to host the current climate change talks, as discussed briefly in that report. Addressing the global gathering on Tuesday, host President Ilham Aliyev said Azerbaijan's oil reserves were, quote, a gift from God, and said his country had a responsibility to boost oil and gas exports. So how did a country that has a love of fossil fuels and a global freedom score of 7 out of 100 become hosts of the United Nations Climate Change Conference? Well, Richard D. Kozlarik is a former U.S. ambassador to Azerbaijan who is attending the COP29 conference in Baku.
You know, I would say simply because they're an oil and gas producing country shouldn't disqualify them from being the chair of a conference like this. The next chair for COP30 is Brazil. Brazil's the 8th largest oil producing country in the world. So that in itself can't be a disqualifying feature. There are a lot of other things that are going on that are, in fact, challenges that, while you can't contend at this point that Azerbaijan is not going to host the conference, you can criticize them for the human rights violations that are going on at the same time that they're trying to get a positive image from hosting the COP29 conference. I mean, we're trying to bring the world together to address issues of climate change, and particularly the financing of that. There are issues of climate change that are affecting the region where Azerbaijan is located, declining levels of the Caspian Sea, which the president of Kazakhstan mentioned in his address at the COP29 conference. And then the problems between Azerbaijan and its neighbor Armenia, who have been in the middle of a tragic conflict for decades now, where peace is a real possibility. And there's an environmental aspect of that as well, where the country should be talking about how can we work together to deal with the problems of water and other environmental issues.
And that was the former U.S. ambassador to Azerbaijan, Richard D. Kozlarik, speaking from Baku. And the program is Coffee Time, brought to you in association with Global Properties, Wave, The Gambia Experience, Easy Financial Services, the USAP, EEC, and GAM Food Trading, TAF Africa Global, and Bloombank Africa. Time is always a problem on Wednesdays, but after the break, we'll have the latest installment of Rohi Samba's Echoes of Fuladu series.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the second annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Boja. I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wanjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly fun.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
Rohi Samba now reads from her Echoes of Fuladu series.
Echoes of Fuladu. When trouble comes. Netta settled onto the ground, finding solace on the smooth angel stone. This revered stone, usually reserved for the esteemed elders of the household, cradled her back as she leaned against it. From this vantage point, her eyes traced the landscape, stretching as far as the Bantaba, a majestic tree among other trees, with extensive branches providing ample shade. Here, weary men gathered to rest after toiling in the fields. Their appearance created a serene tableau beneath the broad canopy. The compound, meticulously clad of foliage and leaves, bore the tangible imprints of Mata's diligence, her unwavering dedication to her household chores. The sweeping of the compound, while a crucial part of her myriad responsibilities, merely scratched the surface of her contributions to the household. Beyond this chore, she willingly lent her hands to various tasks, cleaning dirty utensils, laundering clothes by the stream, cooking, pounding grains, and grinding condiments, often at the behest of both her mother and stepmother. Netta's involvement in these multifaceted responsibilities were an integral part of their daily lives. Their familial unit comprised Nata, her two younger siblings, her mother, stepmother, and father. Together, they lived in a region of Fuladu called Kamako, in the village of Kanjo. Nestled within the compound were 3 round mud huts, each crowned with thatch roofs that blended seamlessly with the landscape. At the heart of the compound, where art and tradition intermingled, Nata's daily routine composed a rhythmic cadence, each task contributing to the flourishing harmony of their familial abode. Her calloused hands bore not only the weight of responsibilities, but also the essence of familial unity and shared duties. Embracing these obligations, Nata seamlessly melded into the daily toil that defined their family's existence. The rhythm of her efforts became the beating heart of their shared life. Each sweeping motion, condiment graining, and grain pounding resonated with the essence of a young girl's unwavering dedication to her family's well-being. On this particular day, despite the allure of the sandy canvas beneath her, Netta found herself unusually distracted. Her small hands traced lines and molded the sand in a feeble attempt at play, but her attention wavered. The low-toned discourse between her stepmother Nene Dado and their neighbor Nene Meira unfolded like an illicit performance, audible to Nata's small ears as she sat with her baby sister Kadjabobo. The atmosphere hung heavy with malicious undertone, enticing Nata's curiosity like an irresistible tide. Even the mango and orange trees surrounding the house appeared still, unmoving and attentive. She couldn't resist the temptation to eavesdrop on the exchanges just beyond her immediate hearing. Amid her surreptitious observations, Nata's protective instincts kicked in. She tossed her hands to shoo away bothersome flies from her Kadjabobo's face. The baby nestled beside her, blissfully licking her plump hands and emitting coos that hinted at an impending cry. Netta dreaded Kadjabobo's wails that followed, loud and unyielding. Frantically, her eyes scanned the surroundings, searching for Matu, the missing middle child. A pang of concern enveloped her as she realized Matu was nowhere to be found. Omar, not Matu, a boy who had passed away at the age of 2, was her younger sibling. Memories of Omar were faint, a vague recollection of a presence lost too soon. The somber atmosphere that enveloped their household after Omar's passing lingered in Nata's mind, accompanied by the deep well of grief that consumed her mother thereafter. Nights became a canvas of shared sorrow, with her mother weeping herself to sleep, haunted by the void left by Omar's departure. The shared hate burden in the hut they occupied together became a vessel for their combined mourning, as grief proved to be a contagious companion. At the tender age of barely 10, Nata held the position of the eldest in the household, a role accompanied by responsibilities. Following her in the sibling lineup was Matu, a spirited 4-year-old, and then the youngest addition, Kadjabobo, a cherubic baby of just 6 months old. Each child brought their unique personalities to the web of the Mbalo family. As Nata anxiously pondered Matu's whereabouts, the absence of her younger sister became palpable. Nata, with a wisdom beyond her age, recognized her own strength in consoling the baby during her cries. Yet Matu had a natural affinity with infants, a gift that made her an innate suitor in the household dynamics. Matu's absence cast a shadow that transcended the mere tangible, leaving an emptiness that echoed through the familial corridors of a household. Sensing a shift in the exchange, Matu snapped her attention back to the subtle nuances of the two women's conversation. She strained to...
And that was Rohi Samba. More from her Echoes of Fuladu next week. And that's coffee time for today, Wednesday, the 13th of November 2024. Tomorrow, my guest in the studio will be by Dudu Jallo, one of the 2 aspirants for president of the Gambian National Olympic Committee, GNOC, this year. Thank you for the pleasure of your company. Have a very good day.